Hello everyone. Welcome to Intrinsic Archives. My name is Verlaine, but you can call me V. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. In this channel, we do beauty discussions and lots of commentary. So if you like what you see and you want to see more, go ahead and like and comment down below. If you're feeling the vibe, go ahead and subscribe. Show your girl some love and hit that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to follow me on my social media, CoffeebeanVee. All right, so today we are going to be talking about emotional incest, the term mama's boy and daddy's girl, and how when we dig deeper, this can actually be a fundamental and abusive situation that a lot of adults are having to deal with in their day-to-day lives. If you are interested, keep on watching. So the definition of emotional incest is a type of abuse in which the parent looks to their child for emotional support that would normally be provided by another adult. Emotional incest is nowhere near sexual, it's just an emotional type of manipulation and abuse. Now, this is really prevalent in single parent households, whether it's a single mom or a single dad. Now, I do want to put a disclaimer. This particular type of abuse and manipulation is not exclusive to just African American households. This happens to many households, many races, many cultures, and many ethnicities. So this is not a free-for-all bashing train for African Americans or Black households, because it does not just happen in those homes. I just want to state that statement out there just to make things crystal clear. A lot of examples of this type of abuse. For example, let's use mama's boy. So mama's boy seems to be a really surface level term about a child or a son who's particularly close to his mother. If his mother says something, he's quick to obey. Again, it seems really sweet, surface level, but when it comes to these type of households, especially if it becomes more toxic, the mother is typically in really abusive or neglectful relationships, and she looks to her son and says to herself, okay, I'm gonna raise my son better than all these men. I'm gonna make him better than all these men. So they raise their son to be a better man, yes, but they raise their son to be a better man for them. The son almost replaces what a man would be in the household as a mate. They're basically molding their sons to be their perfect husbands, their perfect mates, their perfect man. So when another woman comes into the son's lives when they're older, like a girlfriend, a wife, a baby's mother, the mother almost feels threatened by the woman's presence, saying that this is my son and I'm the first woman in his life and you'll never make him happy, so on and so forth. And there's a lot of examples of that.
Emotional incest isn't a joke. It's not. People go to therapy for it.
Well, if you go off and get married, who's going to be the man of the house? Who's going to take care of me? You might have my son's heart now, but I had his heart first. And I told my son if she ever does anything to hurt him, he can always come back home to mama. How dare you put your wife above your mother? Now, son, I just want you to know that no woman will ever love you the way your mother does. You will never be able to make my son happy.
I'm not gonna touch you.
Wait in the car.
I'm not, bro. Our stuff is here. I'm not, though. My stuff is here and I'm getting my stuff.
Get your ass in that motherfucking car.
But I'm not, though.
Go.
Get your ass away.
But I'm not, though.
You go in your room.
Matter of fact, I call the police right now.
Please do, because my stuff is here.
We leaving. You ain't gotta do all that. You don't.
What did I do to you? What did I do to you?
I don't like you.
What did I do to you? What did I do?
You want shit, you're a dirt asshole. And you
Oh,
want
am I?
shit from my man, my son.
Your man?
Another example of a mama's boy in emotional incest would be season 5 of Married at First Sight. I don't know if any of you guys watch Married at First Sight, but specifically in season 5, the couple Nate and Sheila, they were one of the, I believe, the only African American couples in that particular season. But when Nate had introduced Sheila to his mother, the mother had a really, really interesting response in regards to her presence. And she specifically asked Nate, oh, am I going to be still the first queen in your life? And Nate looked at his mom and he was just like, well, of course, but she's my wife. And throughout the entire season, you can almost see that the mother was threatened by Sheila's presence. Not because Sheila did anything in particular, but just because she existed. The mother kept saying that I'm the first woman in your life. You know, you shouldn't put her first. You need to put me first. And just kind of insinuated that Sheila was almost taking her son away from her. Now, again, I remember when I first watched it, I was like, that's an interesting response. And again, throughout the season, I just kept thinking this was extremely weird, and it almost as if the way she talked to Sheila, despite their problems, it was almost as if it was a woman talking to another woman taking her man. It wasn't like a mother and son type of situation. The way she was talking to this man's wife, it was like she was a side chick. And it was like, ma'am, but this is your son. Your son. He is your son. He's not your husband. He's not your boyfriend. He's not your mate. He's your son. And that is his wife. So that was definitely one of the first instances on television that I noticed that was like, ooh, this is a great example of emotional incest. Now, another example of emotional incest on the flip side would be the daddy's girl, the father and daughter codependency, where the father pretty much treats the daughter as his little wife. She's pretty much responsible for him and his entire well-being, cooking, cleaning, and emotionally keeping him safe. So when another man comes by, he also immediately feels threatened. Those dads who pretty much put up a persona that no man is good enough for their little girl, and they basically run off any man that even sniffs their daughter's way. And she is solely responsible of taking care of him. Those instances can be extremely toxic. And when it comes to these type of men, they're very overbearing, they're very jealous. And another thing I've noticed with the daddy's girl emotional incest persona is that these men are very, very, very concerned in regards to their daughter's virginity. That's something I've noticed. That's a huge discussion, a huge topic. And for whatever reason, if she's not a virgin or she lost her virginity, it's like they're taking a knife in their stomach. And they're so invested in it. T.I. and Tiny. The fact that he is able to talk about his daughter's virginity on national television for the whole world to hear is embarrassing. It's disrespectful. She is grown. Yes, she's the daughter, but she is grown. And the fact that he lets his son do whatever he wants, but the daughter's virginity and the daughter's, you know, her body is so sacred, and he just seems to be so tight about that. Also, there are something called purity balls, where there are balls held for girls' virginities and to stay pure. Now, this is more of a religious base, but a lot of the time it is daddy-daughter type of situation where the daughter vows to the dad and it gets a ring from, almost like a marriage, it gets a ring from the dad in regards to staying pure. And these purity balls take place. And it's weird. To me, it's a little weird. Like, I can understand you wanting to set good morals in your daughter, which I believe should be both children, not just daughter, but son and daughter. But specifically the girls, I can understand you want to have good values, core beliefs, you know, wait till marriage, whatever the case is. But these men just seem so invested in their daughter's virginity, so invested in that process and in that journey. It's almost unsettling. And that would be another example of emotional incest. So we talked about what emotional incest is. I've given you plenty of examples, but let's talk about the effects, the later effects of emotional incest and how that can really damage or bleed into children, now adults' lives. First example I can automatically think of is the difficulty of choosing a partner that your parent approves of. A lot of the times when it comes to these situations, especially when it comes to the mother-son, a lot of the times the mother does not approve of whoever the son chooses. It's always a very hostile environment. It's very difficult for the mother to accept that the son has another woman in his life. She's always going to be very overbearing, disrespectful, or passive aggressive towards the woman in his life. And as the wife in that matter, I'm sure it's going to be extremely uncomfortable for you because now you're almost forcing your now husband to choose between you and his mother. So that could be one instance. Two, when it comes to the effects, a lot of children have to deal with a lot of guilt, a lot of emotional blaming. They are able to separate themselves from their overbearing or overdependent parents, but now they feel a sense of guilt that they're not helping their parents the way they used to. They're not taking care of their parents the way they used to. And now they feel some type of guilt when they're giving their time, attention, and love to something else or to someone else. That alone is a disaster for unhealthy relationships or the inability to maintain healthy relationships. You're crippling the child emotionally because now the child cannot look at the parent for any type of stability. It's almost reversed. It's like the child is now parenting the adult. All right, everyone, that is my video. I hope you guys truly enjoyed it. I would love to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions and feelings down below in the comment section. Let me know, have you ever dated someone who's dealt with emotional incest? Have you been through it? Please let me know your opinion down below. Please share, like, subscribe, share it with your family and friends, and I would love to see you guys in my next video. Bye.